Wine brands chase Gen Z with playful tie-ins to Shark Week, NASCAR, and more. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Boston app. Which wine pairs well with Shark Week? Does a Pinot Noir have enough acidity to cut through the grime of a Tough Mudder race? Is a big, brassy cabernet bold enough of a quaff for a night of naming dead rodents after an X? And is a wine named Sex too provocative or not provocative enough? Absurd as they may sound, these are the questions haunting wine marketers grappling with slumping sales and increasingly elusive drinkers. How consumers, especially younger drinkers, answer them will determine whether an industry long defined by fuddy-duddy pretense can find its footing in 2026 and beyond. That self-important way that wine can refer to itself, we're really trying to tip that on its head, said Helen Kurtz, chief of marketing for the wine group, which hopes that offerings such as its easy-drinking Cupcake Vineyards wines can attract a generation that came of age on Frappuccinos and gas station BuzzBallz. It's about being less serious about ourselves, because that's what this consumer is demanding, she said, by which she means partnering the company's MD20/20. Yes, it's a wine with World Wrestling Entertainment matches. Mad Dog enters the ring and launching the aptly named Fuel by Franzier line of boxed wine beverages for NASCAR full throttle flavor. Alcohol consumption has dropped. It's a fresh lesson on the importance of finding your customer rather than hoping they'd find you, because almost across the board, alcohol consumption is down, a trend that accelerated post-pandemic. A host of factors is at play, including aging boomers seeking healthier lifestyles, Gen Z's gravitation to low and no alcohol beverages, and widening availability of alternatives such as marijuana. Each segment of the alcohol industry, valued at around $560 billion in the U.S., is responding differently. Hard liquor, for example, has found a rare growth category in ready-to-drink canned cocktails. But the wine industry faces its own constellation of challenges, many of its own making. For anyone new to wine, particularly much coveted 20-somethings, finding one's way can be daunting. Something of a chateau d'eau stuffy effect. You've got a bunch of things, what you might call friction points, with wine that are particularly salient to younger consumers, including cost and drinkability, said Christian Miller, Director of Research for the Wine Market Council. Read more. Pretentious image keeps some customers away. Wine, from the labels to the language used to describe it, historically has leaned pricey and pretentious. Looking at you, notes of asphalt and barnyard. Wine trends also have favored boozy and bracing styles, a hard sell for folks used to sipping hard seltzers at the club. Fewer than a third of Gen Z households own a corkscrew, according to a trends report by the British household products company Lakeland. Even simply trying a wine comes with a gatekeeper. Hard liquor is easy to sample at a bar or as single-shot mitts. Most wine requires a full bottle commitment. A cadre of wineries has begun pushing the bounds of wine culture by ditching the fussy facade in favor of a sassy vibe and accessible language. Price matters, too. The sweet spot seems to be the $8 to $20 a bottle range, but not nearly so much as the message. It's about using contemporary communication to pitch something that's been made for centuries, said Charles Smith, founder of House of Smith, the company behind younger, shopper-friendly brands such as Kung Fu Girl, Riesling, and Sex Risset. My mantra is always to communicate the language of wine to everyone, because not everyone speaks wine. The wine should be a reflection of the consumer who is going to buy it. Can tie-ins to pop culture make wine more relatable? Bobble Family Wine Collection has leaned in with its juggernaut wines, adorned with almost graphically violent labels showcasing alpha predators, a shark, a grizzly, an otter, a lion, and some sort of particularly angry bird of prey. The bottles are a far cry from the placid villas and languorous ladies plastered across so many wines. The other side of it is getting those bottles into spaces not traditionally associated with wine, said Jessica Ladd-Bounty, the company's marketing director. For 2 years, Juggernaut has announced Adventure Awaits as it sponsored the grueling Tough Mudder races. They've also done placements at zoos that host nights where people can name dead rodents and insects after former partners and feed them to the animals. Cheers! This year, it's Discovery Network's Shark Week. Juggernauts, Chardonnay label sports and especially snappish great white and just the right amount of bite. The viewer base of Shark Week lines up really nicely with who we know our consumer to be, Lab Bounty said. It's another way to meet them where they are already versus kind of asking them to come to us. Learning to speak Gen Z is key. The goal is to bridge a generational divide in which wine got lost. Younger drinkers don't and won't talk about wine the way older drinkers do. To point, there's a clever social media meme about a millennial marketing team pitching wine vs. a Gen Z social media team. The millennial effort goes on at length about terroir and full-bodied flavors. Gen Z's pitch, "It's giving yummy. Vibe is everything for bread and butter wines," with the tagline, "Don't overthink it," as in pair their red blend with a candy charcuterie board, or their pinot noir with a Thanksgiving leftovers sandwich. Want fries with that? Try their prosecco. The no. One goal is to disrupt the shelf because it is so crowded, said Caitlin Ward, Brand and Digital Marketing Director. Sassiness is a way to do that. G.M. Hirsch is a longtime food writer who was food editor of the Associated Press for nearly a decade until 2016.